Hello everyone, thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel if you would like updates when more videos are posted. The previous videos on the leading tone fully diminished 7th chord in minor keys and the leading tone half diminished 7th chord of major keys outlined steps for students to follow when resolving leading tone diminished 7th chords to tonic triads. This video will address the voice leading concerns that these steps should help you avoid. Regarding the leading tone fully diminished 7th chord of minor keys, the most common error is unequal fifths involving the bass voice. This particular error most commonly arises from resolving a first inversion leading tone fully diminished 7th chord to a root position tonic triad as seen in example number 1. In this scenario, a diminished fifth involving the tenor and bass voices moves to a perfect fifth involving the tenor and bass voices. However, depending on the voicing of the leading tone fully diminished 7th chord, the unequal fifths could involve the alto and bass voice as well as the soprano and bass voice, as seen in examples number 2 and number 3. The common thread in all three of these examples is that the unequal fifths involve the bass voice. You are likely to make this error if you resolve a first inversion leading tone fully diminished 7th chord in first inversion to a tonic triad in root position. Inherent to the first inversion position is the diminished fifth interval between scale degree 2, the chordal third, which is in the bass voice, and scale degree 6, the chordal seventh, which is in a voice above. If this sonority moves to a root position tonic triad and the chordal seventh resolves down by step as expected, the result will be unequal fifths involving the bass voice. This is why the first inversion leading tone fully diminished 7th chord typically resolves to a tonic triad in first inversion, as the bass will move up by step to avoid the unequal fifths. However, let us recognize that there is much that is good with these answers, which is why the mistake of unequal fifths is so common regarding this specific progression. The chordal seventh is resolving properly down by step from A flat to G. The leading tone is resolving properly up by step from B natural to C. The error arises from not following step number 3 of the voice leading procedures, moving the remaining two voices by step to double the chordal third of the tonic triad. And following this final step, you will automatically resolve the leading tone fully diminished 7th chord to a first inversion tonic triad, as seen in the corrected examples now appearing below. Everything is the same as above, except the corrected version follows step number 3. Move the remaining two voices by step to double the chordal third of the tonic triad. It is worth noting that unequal fifths involving the bass is probably not as common as other voice leading errors, such as consecutive perfect fifths or octaves, resolving leading tones and chordal sevenths properly, etc. It occurs only under very specific situations, such as the improper resolution of the first inversion leading tone fully diminished 7th chord. Regarding the leading tone half diminished 7th chord of major keys, the most common error is consecutive perfect fifths. First, let me mention that consecutive perfect fifths between two voices is not possible when voice leading the leading tone fully diminished 7th chord to a tonic triad, because a perfect fifth doesn't exist between any of the two voices, regardless of how that fully diminished 7th chord is spaced or positioned. However, a perfect fifth interval is possible within the half diminished 7th chord, when the chordal third is positioned below the chordal seventh, as seen in examples 1, 2, 3, and 4, which offer just a few possibilities. Notice that the chordal third, the D, is positioned below the chordal seventh, the A, in each example. If you don't follow the voice leading steps as discussed, you might fall into the consecutive perfect fifth trap, as seen in all 4 examples. However, there are a few positives with these answers. The chordal seventh is resolving as expected down by step from A to G. The leading tone is resolving as expected from B to C. The error arises from not following step number 3 of the voice leading procedures, moving the remaining two voices by step to double the chordal third of the tonic triad. You will avoid the consecutive perfect fifth possibility by following the third voice leading step and doubling the chordal third of the tonic triad, as seen in the corrected examples now appearing below. To make life more complicated, the chordal third of the half diminished 7th chord doesn't always appear below its chordal seventh. Sometimes the chordal seventh appears below the chordal third, creating a perfect fourth interval between the two chord members, as seen in the examples below. These are still leading tone half diminished 7th chords in the key of C major, but I've revoiced them so that the chordal seventh, the A, is below the chordal third, the D, creating a perfect fourth interval between these two chord members, and thus eliminating the consecutive perfect fifth possibility. You can still follow the exact same voice leading steps as you have done with all the other leading tone diminished seventh chords. Resolve the chordal seventh, the A, down by step, resolve the leading tone B up by step, and then move the remaining two voices by step to double the chordal third. However, since the consecutive perfect fifth possibility has been eliminated due to the revoicing of the chord, step 3 can be modified to allow the remaining voices to still move by step, but to double the chordal root of the tonic triad. Notice that this creates acceptable consecutive perfect fourths instead of the unacceptable consecutive perfect fifths. Now finally, look at example number 1, the leading tone half diminished seventh chord in first inversion, which has remained the same throughout this slide. The perfect fifth interval is inherent to the first inversion voicing, as it would be impossible to write a first inversion leading tone half diminished seventh chord without the chordal third in the bass voice, which inevitably will form a perfect fifth with the chordal seventh in an upper voice. To sum up, the most common voice leading error regarding the leading tone fully diminished seventh chord of minor keys resolving to a tonic triad is unequal fifths involving the bass voice. The most common voice leading error regarding the leading tone half diminished seventh chord of major keys resolving to a tonic triad is consecutive perfect fifths between two voices. This video is just an introduction to the voice leading possibilities of the leading tone diminished seventh chords and is not meant to paint a complete picture. For a more nuanced look at the voice leading possibilities, please watch my video on the leading tone diminished seventh chord advanced voice leading. Thank you very much for watching this video, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel if you would like updates when more videos are posted. Thank you.